In this video, we will focus on two new hard gelée releases. Yeah, hard gelée or baked gelée. Lately, I'm calling this formula hard gelée because we learned that the baking process is not involved. Anyway, they are commonly called baked gelée. And I have updated my list. You can find this video here where I started this project of having an Excel file with all the hard gelée releases. And I have updated with the new KIKO water eyeshadows from this Lumiere collection that is limited edition. And I have to thank Gaia, one of my subscribers here. She informed me about the release of this collection, and I managed to go to a KIKO store during lunchtime. Was a rare occasion when I could go there. And yeah, I found it and I picked one eyeshadow. But also I would like to talk about Chanel because Chanel is going to drop what seems to be a fall collection of 4 palettes that are also hard gelée. Let's start with Chanel. I can't show you the 4 palettes that are going to be released. Chanel has already bashed me with a copyright infringement related to a past video where I compared the new palette, one of the 4 palettes, with this one that I have that was from the Tweed collection. And this is actually very similar. So this is the old Tweed Cuivre palette. And it's very similar to the one that is coming, but this is warmer. And that one, the new one, is more on the mauvish side. I don't need that palette because I have already this one. But if you want to find the new quads, just search on Instagram #Chanel and you will find pictures. There are 4 quads and one is the most neutral with the mauvish colors. So as I said, I have this one that is more on the warmer side. I will swatch it for you. So this palette is on the coppery side. It's very pretty. This is the color story. I don't use it as much as I should because it's fantastic. And you know, is the hard gelée formula that we all love, that has different finishes, more metallic ones and more glittery ones, is a great palette. And the new one is a tad different from this because it's cooler and more on the mauvish side. But I have already, you know, something more on the mauvish side, like this palette by Tom Ford that has less terracotta, more, you know, these kind of more pinkish mauves. See, I want to show you them side by side here so you can see that, yeah, there are definitely these two that are the warmest, but these two by Tom Ford are more on the purplish side, and I'm fine with this arrangement. I don't need that specific palette. Also, 2 considerations. First of all, Chanel eyeshadows are small. So this one was not hard to pick up, but I found that other more, how can I say, raised eyeshadows, sometimes I feel they are too small in order to pick up the product in an easy way. Sometimes I'm kind of, you know, underwhelmed. I think that it may be the case for these eyeshadows as well. In this case, it was not truly a problem because they are flatter, the eyeshadows, but sometimes they are more rounded and I cannot pick the product effectively. If I have to spend luxury money, I prefer larger pens like Tom Ford or also the Bobbi Brown ones. So that's my preference. The other thing that I would like to add to the discussion is that nowadays I've realized that these hard gelée eyeshadows are all limited editions. It's rare to find hard gelée products that are permanent. Chantecaille, Sisley also offers all their eyeshadows are hard gelée. Guerlain has their core palettes, the permanent palettes that are hard gelée, and KIKO has the water eyeshadow line that is permanent, and I have a video about the water eyeshadows, all my water eyeshadows. MAC as the extra dimension eyeshadows, also those are permanent. So these are the examples of permanent hard gelée eyeshadows. And you have that baked gelée list. If you follow the QR code, you will be directed to a free list of all eyeshadows and face products. You can select the ones that are limited edition or the permanent ones. So you have a full list there. But yeah, the consideration here is that nowadays these hard gelée releases tend to be released as limited editions. Back to the Chanel quads. We have the one that is similar to this, we have said that already, and then we have one with two pinks that are very similar. There's a brown and a champagne. I think I will skip that one because I have those colors in this formula. Then there's a quad with a purple. So there's purple, gold, terracotta, and pink champagne. I don't like it. So it's a warm palette with a pop of color, that purple, and I'm not interested in that. The only one that I'm interested in is the palette that has a silvery blue at the bottom right. So it has a gold, again, kind of sandy color, more of a warm brown, and then this silvery blue. That silvery blue, honestly, was one of my favorite color in an old Chantecaille palette that I've decluttered, was the Hummingbird palette. And I wish I had a hard gelée version of that eyeshadow, and I think that Chanel has delivered that in this palette that I'm talking about. So I'm still deciding, because I think that for the way I'm using that eyeshadow, that is like a liner, I have this DANESSA MYRICKS. This is the number 9, but I was referring to the number 8. The number 8 metallic of DANESSA MYRICKS is this one. Let me swatch it here for you. And yeah, I think it will be very similar, a bit deeper even, of that Chanel eyeshadow. So not sure, maybe since the usage I'm gonna do with this color is rarely all over, but more as a liner, I have the convenience of a smudge proof stick already, and therefore, yeah, I spend the money for this. I may enjoy this instead of buying that eyeshadow. But it's also true that I've been waiting for a hard gelée version of this color, more or less, and it's there now. So if I want it, that is the chance to grab it. I will wait for, you know, reviewers that do it as a job and then decide what to do, because I have a limited budget for makeup. Although I'm a makeup lover, yeah, is becoming harder and harder to, you know, waste the money on a Chanel quad just for one eyeshadow. It's not a quad where I love all the colors. That's the point. Okay, so these are my considerations about the new fall collection by Chanel. Another point, I'm noticing that these hard gelée eyeshadows by Chanel lately have been released on selected stores or on Chanel website. So there are some collections by Chanel that are widely available, and for those you can wait for your favorite retailer, maybe get some good deals. Sorry if you hear some background noise. I have construction work going on just next to my apartment. Anyway, I was saying that I'm afraid that these hard gelée quads are going to be released only on the Chanel website and on specific stores. So it will be more difficult also to get some discounts, and therefore I have to think twice, right? Because these are quite pricey, full price. The reality is, after, you know, experience with these eyeshadows, the formula is fantastic. I've talked about it extensively. I have alternatives, so I don't need to buy every single hard gelée release, right? That is, you know, the rational thinking that I think is wise in these times. Okay, let's focus on the KIKO eyeshadows. I will watch it here. So as I said, Gaia informed me about this, and I said, let's see if I can find it. And I found it. I will put here a picture with the overview of the entire Lumiverse collection by KIKO that is just dropped. This is the preview from an Instagram account that is called glamjunkies.com, is based in Germany. This picture shows you all the products that are available in this limited edition collection. It's a fall collection by KIKO. There are many products, many of them are repetitive, to be honest. You can see here how many things we have. Those nude pencils are brow products, brow pencils, then lip pencils, and then we have some fluids, some highlighting in liquid form, stick blushes, lipsticks, eyeliners, mascara. We have many products. The standouts to me are 3 products. One is the highlighter, and I'll put a swatch, especially the pink one. It's a sort of hard gelée, but it is not very jelly. It's more of you know, those Chinese more waxy gelée. That is the feeling I had by touching that highlighter. And I'm interested in the pink one. I think is a nice alternative to the Prada pink highlighter, much cheaper in this case. I'm not a fan of the packaging. My strategy with that highlighter is to wait. If it goes on sale and I find it, I still find it, it's fine. If I miss it, I don't care. If the packaging was leaker, I would have picked it up. And also, I'm not using highlighters anymore, so better using what I have already. Those are my feelings about that highlighter. Also, it has some glitters, so it's not truly smooth like the Prada one. And yeah, definitely I was not convinced because of the packaging and the product itself, those glittery things. I don't want glitter on my face, on my cheeks. That's why I decided to wait, but it's a pretty color, so even for the eyes would be nice. So if I find it on sale, it's okay, otherwise I don't care. The other standout is the multi-chrome eyeshadow. It's not hard gelée. That one is a very squishy formula, very silicone-y, smooth, and of course I tried it on my eyes, and of course it creases. You need a primer with that, but it faded and creased also in a beautiful way. So I like that product, but that is such of a standard multi-chrome. It's one of the first released, and I have a hard gel version of that in the Pat McGrath Divine Rose 2 palette. So I have the best version already. It's a pretty eyeshadow. Maybe with the sale I can consider it's convenient to have a single to bring with you instead of the big, bulky and heavy palette by Pat McGrath, but it's not something that I would rush and buy because you may have that color already. It's a very common multi-chrome. And there's also a liquid version, and I had it already, made by Natasha Denona. Do you remember years ago when Natasha Denona released those multi-chromes? It has all dried out, so no need to buy something that will dry out eventually. And multi-chromes are not something that I personally use every day. So when it comes to liquid eyeshadow, this is a recent acquisition by Lisa Eldridge that I purchased together with the single of her latest palette. I made a video about Lisa Eldridge, and about this I said, okay, I like them, but they are too dark. And I can confirm that. That is a proof that you don't need to try everything. Sometimes you can have an informed opinion before purchasing and maybe avoiding waste of money. This was expensive. But yeah, I confirm it's too dark for me. So I wish I bought the Makeup by Mario liquid eyeshadow in Bisque. That is a very nice, light, kind of concealer type of eyeshadow. But I was intrigued by the formula by Lisa Eldridge, because I know that it has kind of something that smooths out the lines, a mesh, like a new technology. So I wanted to try the formula, and this was the color that I like the most. Is Phoebe in the liquid silk eyeshadow, the matte one. Anyway, this is anyway something that I can use more often compared to a multi-chrome. So this, although it's kind of a regret, I can justify it. It's a neutral color. I can use it every day, slap on my face and call it a day. But when it comes to multi-chrome, the reality is, from my experience with the Natasha Denona one, was a waste of money. Now, the KIKO is cheaper compared to Natasha Denona, but still, it will dry out before having used it properly. That's why I can skip it. There's also balm. The balm was nice. There's a purple balm full of glitters. But if you checked my video about my lipstick declutter, you know that I've been throwing away $1,600 on lipsticks, among which there were some glittery balms that I loved, but I didn't use before they expired. So I'm on a lipstick no buy. I purchased a few, I think 5 of the Prada ones. This is the Tiepolo one. I think these Soft Matte by Prada are the best lipsticks on the market when it comes to the lightweight and blurring formula. Fantastic. So I wanted to buy more of more of these. To be honest, I did it before my lipstick declutter. So yeah, if I had waited until the declutter, I may have stick to one, this Tiepolo for sure, and maybe 2, but not 5 like I purchased. But lesson learned, do a declutter, be aware, have control of your collection before purchasing more stuff. Anyway, the summary is, I won't buy any other lipstick until I go through my balms. And then my weakness are eyeshadows, GELÉE eyeshadows, and now we will go through all the colors. So there are 4 eyeshadows in this collection by KIKO, 4 water eyeshadows. So these are the GELÉE formula, wet and dry. You can use water to amplify the pigment, but you can use water also to shear them out, like having a liquid eyeshadow that can be sheared out like a watercolor. So they're very versatile. I think that these are among the best in the KIKO range. Are they comparable to expensive GELÉE eyeshadows? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Personally, I have a preference for these more higher hand eyeshadows because of the density of the pigment. And I was very detailed in this video where I ranked my Vintage GELÉE eyeshadows and I explained why. So everything is there. Go watch that one. I won't repeat myself here. But let's go through the new KIKO Water eyeshadow from the Lumiverse collection. I end up buying just one. So the first water eyeshadow is called Champagne Eclipse, the number 01. And I didn't pick it up because it's a champagne with pink reflects. And I think that since I have many Pat McGrath eyeshadows, this is the Mothership number 3. And it has this pink astral. Yeah, I think I'm fine with it here. The concept is very similar. The KIKO eyeshadow is very similar to this in color, whitish color with pink reflects, but Pat McGrath has chunkier glitter. So if you want a finer version of it, the KIKO is the one to go. I had this one. I don't use it a lot. It's not my favorite. Also, I don't like this specific color. Other GELÉE eyeshadows by Pat McGrath are definitely smoother than this pink astral, so not my favorite even. So didn't want to duplicate it, and it's too light for my preference. I don't use it practically, and if I want to use it, I would go for the Pat McGrath one. So that's the reason why I didn't pick it up. The second one is called 02 Polarized Pastel, and I swatched it, but I don't like that color. It's too warm for me. I didn't find anything special about it, so I could easily skip it. The third one is called 03 Quantum Violet, and I think it's a re-release because I had this one that is a Chrome Tech eyeshadow 02 and is exactly the same. Did I use it? I have it for 1 year. Is this one? Is exactly the same. So it's this color here. You can see what I was referring to, that the KIKO one is much finer compared in shimmer compared to a chunkier Pat McGrath in the astral finish, but I even didn't use it a lot, to be honest. Okay, I had other things to take care of, but so it's exactly the same. So if you have this one, this was a limited edition released last year, the Chrome Tech eyeshadows. If you have this one, yeah, you don't need a new one because it's a re-released, and they were not transparent about it because now it's called 03 Quantum Violet, and this was the 02. I don't remember its name. In case you missed this one last year, you have it this year too. And finally, the fourth one is the one that I picked, and it's called 04 Dusk Dimension. And this is the eyeshadow. So it has a nice shiny packaging, and you know that I plan in the future, I don't know when, but when I find a time and I'm relaxed enough to do the job, I plan to depot my KIKO eyeshadows. And this is the color, is a golden beige. So creamy, smooth, but yeah, it has the that, you know, powdery, a bit powdery finish that is typical of the KIKO. But it is a nice quality. I think is a nice addition to my collection, not truly a necessity. I could have skipped it. I thought it was nice, portable. The truth is, I didn't know it was close enough to what I had already, and since these are my favorite colors, I don't mind having some repetition. I mean, if it's a purple that I don't use, then I say, okay, I don't need duplicates. But since this color is a neutral color, goes with everything, I said, okay, why not? I'll pick it up. My feeling right now, since I truly need to budget, is that I could escape it, but medium tones, sometimes they are just a champagne. So you don't have that deep base that you can find here. So that's why it has its uniqueness. And I would like to compare it with two alternatives. One is by Tom Ford. I think it's very difficult to find. So this is Metallic Diamond. This is one of my favorite palettes. And it has this shade that I would like to compare. And that's the reason why I think you see how much superior is. It's more pigmented and shinier. These are 14 euros a piece. This is now $90. So the single pen is double the price compared to a KIKO. So I think these are more for everyday, and a Tom Ford is more for night out. But yeah, I'm seeing now that they are not totally identical. This has some warmth, the KIKO one, while the Tom Ford has less orange, is more of a sandy gold. This is a fantastic color. It's my favorite color, and also the combination with the blue is truly another level. Wow. Maybe I don't need that Chanel quad, right? This is sometimes it is watching your collection. Yeah, maybe with this blue here it has some silver kind of. I want to swatch it next to the DANESSA MYRICKS. So let me use my other end here. And they're creamy smooth. These quads by Tom Ford, most of them are limited edition. I'm not aware of this, if it's limited edition or not, but they tend to be all limited editions, unfortunately. This wet and dry formula, that is still my favorite by Tom Ford. To me, is superior to all other formulas, even more recent ones, like cream to powders, that Tom Ford has released over time. And yeah, let me show you the difference here. Yeah, I think the difference is just that one is a stick eyeshadow and the other one is a powder eyeshadow. They are very similar. And yeah, to be honest, now that I'm seeing it and I see that this is Tom Ford, this one, and Body Heat, I love the combo of these blues with these more mauve-ish browns. Lovely, very sophisticated. So I'm fine with it. I think I don't need a Chanel quad I was referring to before. Anyway, back on track here. I like this softness. I think that this for the office would be very nice. I would like to do an extra comparison with this old release by KIKO from Holidays 2023, and it's called Shell Melody 03. And I picked this up because it was kind of a taupish one. But the drawback of this is that the base is not prominent. I need to wash my hands before. Clean hands, let me swatch this one. You see that this one is a little bit underwhelming. I mean, I expected more base from it. So it's definitely my least favorite of the three. Yeah, I can see that this one has a sheer base, has less of a base and more shimmer, but is close to this one. So I think that the new one is kind of a, for me, it's a better version because it has more prominent base, brown base, and less shimmer. These are all dry swatches, so of course you can amp up the pigment and the shine if you use water, and you will get an effect that is similar to the higher hand one. But yeah, I think is a nice one, and this is the similar color story of the current offering. So 3 of the 4 eyeshadows. This is Pat McGrath. Again, this is a KIKO in a previous release, but is a 100% dupe of the new one. This is the new KIKO Dusk Dimension is this one, and this is Tom Ford, and this is this old KIKO 03 from the Holiday Premiere collection. I hope that these comparisons were useful. Same formula here, different brands, different finishes, more glittery ones. Also, this from the Holiday is heavier in shimmer because it's a holiday collection. This is a full collection. You see how darker it looks, this eyeshadow, compared to this one. And it was something that was missing from this one by KIKO. So I'm happy now that I've compared them. You know, sometimes, as I told you in other videos, these Tom Ford can be too shiny sometimes. So this is a nice everyday compromise. And it has the base. You see the base here that you don't see. You can see here, but the shimmer is so prominent here that I don't notice this base on my eyes, while this is more prominent. So these are my considerations, and I would highly recommend to check my collab video ranking hard GELÉE eyeshadows, and also my entire collection of KIKO water eyeshadows, all swatched. So see you there. Bye.